Welcome to Business Casual. I am An, your host and author of The Stories We Tell and Perfectly Incomplete. Business Casual brings you unfiltered conversations with badass, inspiring, highly accomplished women. I am passionate about and believe in the power of sharing stories, our authentic, raw, incomplete stories, getting beyond the polished LinkedIn profiles to the real humans behind the titles. My guest today is Rhea. Rhea is co-founder of 911 Nurses GTA, a healthcare staffing company. Rhea has this irresistible energy that she carries with her. Throughout our conversation, I felt such strong, positive energy and a deep sense of possibility. I admire how clearly she sees the future she wants to build and how intentionally she works backward to figure out what steps will bring that vision to life. Some key takeaways from our chat include: sometimes the biggest shift begins with a simple question: why not me? Rapid growth can be exciting, yet periods of slowdown often create the space needed for deeper learning and stronger foundations. Having a clear vision can guide us through uncertainty even when we do not yet know exactly how the path will unfold. Please enjoy this energizing conversation with Rhea about entrepreneurship, mindset, motherhood, and building a life aligned with both ambition and purpose. Hi, Rhea. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing good, thank you. So good to meet you.
It is good to meet you. I'm happy that we had this opportunity. I was very excited. My husband has told me a lot about you too, that you're very hardworking, you're juggling a lot, and I'm like, she sounds like my type of person.
Yes. Or the same thing. Yeah, what
Yes,
you and Jamali have been building so far is very inspiring and admirable, and want to get into that for sure, right? And what you
yes.
have done so far. Yeah, really grateful that you are here today
Thank-
with me having this conversation.
I'm glad to be here. Yeah, and I'm happy to share a bit more about our journey. As you said, Jamali is my husband, and we started a business together 4 years ago. And just the lessons that we've learned and the peaks and yeah, the excitement, but happy to share everything.
They're always that, right? The journey is never flat, never stable.
No, that's for sure. Honestly, like every day you wake up, there's something new. Our business is a lot of our clients are government clients, so there's always regulatory changes or rule changes, how they want us to do certain things. So definitely, change is very much alive in our industry, and it's something we had to learn to pivot. So much throughout our business, and we've only been around for 4 years, and I would say we've had so many episodes where we had to change how we were doing things, jump on a new technology. So it's, yeah, we have a lot to talk about. It's been good.
Yes. So to get started, if you can do a quick intro, please. Your name, what you do, and then we'll start talking about
Do we have all day?
I know, right? Time will fly by, no doubt.
Yes, yeah. So really quick about me. My name is Rhea. As I said, I actually started my career in the healthcare field as a registered nurse. I went to McMaster University. Fast forward, when I started working as a nurse, I met this unique group of nurses. They were called agency nurses. So they basically worked under their own business name, and they would work whenever they wanted to. And I thought this was so amazing, and it gave you so much freedom and autonomy over your life. So I jumped into that for about 10 years of my nursing career, because I liked just being able to work when I wanted to. Now, when I wanted to upskill, because I was initially an ER nurse and I wanted to upskill to become an ICU nurse, I went back into the employee relationship with a hospital where I got that experience, then went into management. And then fast forward, COVID entered. I was on maternity leave with my son, my little angel. And my husband kept saying to me, it goes deeper than that, but he kept saying, why don't we start our own agency? In the background, as I said, I was an agency nurse, and we were just trying to rally the already established agencies that many of us work for in the GTA, just to give us better work condition, better pay during COVID. And we got some pushback from that. So in the background, we had formed, it's a group. It was on WhatsApp. It grew to over 1,000 nurses. And I wasn't the first. I saw many people on the group, many nurses becoming their own boss and entrepreneurs and, doing their own agency. And my husband has been for a year telling me, let's just try it ourselves. Let's just do it. And we did it, and we jumped in. I think everything was just divine timing for us, because within the first week we got a major contract, and it just kept rolling from there. So that essentially is our story. Fast forward to today, our business is really established. It's been 4 years. We have 911 nurses GTA, and we are a healthcare staff and workforce. So we have expanded beyond registered nurses and nurse practitioners and LPNs. Now we have respiratory therapists under our belt, MRTs. So it's been such an amazing journey. It makes it sound so nice in that one thing, but we've had we've had our, as I said, peaks in our valleys, but I'm glad to say we're still on that journey, and we're still learning and growing.
Was there one particular moment that tipped the scale? Because decisions, at least in my experience, any major decision like the one that you made to start your own business, it is major one. So was there like one moment, what, enough thinking, enough evaluating, now let's go?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think there was two moments. So as I said, we were in this WhatsApp group, and I saw and to be honest, I'm not one, especially the nurses who have agencies, who I know started as an agency nurse. I'm wholeheartedly support them. I actually connect with some of them behind the scene as well. So I always look at someone else's traction and their success as inspiration for me. So when I saw that nurses were able to get contracts and they were doing it, for me, I was just like, why not myself as well? And my husband was right. But I remember coming home specifically from a shift. I did a LTC shift. It was somewhere like rural, in the West rural area, and I was driving home, and I was just thinking to myself, why not me? And then I actually called the agency owner that I had completed the shift for, and I was telling him like, oh, one day, like in my mind, I was reading the book at the same time, How to Raise Entrepreneurial Kids, and it was saying that your kids will be influenced if they see someone doing entrepreneur or having a business, and actually witnessing that. So I was saying to myself, oh, I should ask this agency owner if he can mentor my kids later on in life, because they can see him, doing what he's doing and working. And then it hit me like, why am I picking up the phone to ask this person this when I can do that for myself, and I can be that example for my kids. A lot happened on that drive home. I was listening to Beyonce. She has a song called Already, where she talks about like everything you want, you just have to embody it. Say that I have it already. And it was that night, that was the pivotal night I can recall, that I was just like, you know what, we're gonna do this. And I went home and I told Jamali, who's my husband, let's do it. Let's put the website together. Let's start, reaching out to facilities. We had the nurses from the WhatsApp group, and it just went from there. So I think, it is having the belief like, wait, I can do this. I am capable to do this. I have everything at my fingertips. Let's just get it done.
Oh, wow. Why not me thinking I went through very similar experience with my writing journey. I'm not
Yes.
sure if Jamali mentioned to you about the authorship that I've been doing last few years.
Yeah.
Before the first book, I thought about writing books and publishing for a long time, Rhea. I'm such a book nerd and wanted to always do it. But
Yes.
the thinking that I had that stopped me was, who do you think you are? Like, who are you to write a book? That was weighing me down and stopped me. And one night, I was sitting on my mother-in-law's bed, who passed away just a few years, yeah, a few months actually before that particular night. Why not me?
Yeah.
Everyone starts somewhere. Author
Exactly.
somewhere. Not me. And why not now? Enough thinking, enough doubting. And then started
Yes.
writing that night on the bed on my phone. And
Oh,
wrote
wow.
2,000 words. And that's how I started my first book. And here I am with 3 books. I mean, like, there's
First of all, let's take
Well,
that moment and to say congratulations. That's one. And two, Mehi, you're completely right. Like, we sometimes make barriers and come up with excuses as to why we can't do something in our mind before we actually do it, right? So, you know the expression, I don't want to say it wrong, but it's like we make, a mountain out of an anthill, like something that is so small in our mind. And that's why it's important. Like we'll get into it later. I honestly do believe in training your mind and making sure mentally, even as you're a successful author with 3 books, but maybe, you know what I mean? Sometimes we wake up and we have the anxiety, the doubt, and how do you fight that and combat that to keep going? But that's amazing. And I don't want to make this like, I want to ask you, what are your books about? Is it self-development? And I'm going to go look it up and buy some copies. But tell me a bit more about your books.
yes, thank you. My recent book that I just published in December, so last month, is about life's gray areas, like the paradoxes and the ambiguities life throws
Yes.
at us, even when we try so hard to seek clarity, right? We want our life to be black and white, uh,
Yes.
but life is rarely black and white. So it is the stories, collection of stories around my experience with that, navigating through those.
Okay. Well, I like that. Actually, it was similar experience. I think coming off the success, 2024 was such a stellar year for us. We hit like revenue highs, all that stuff. And when you talk about gray areas, for me, I was just so nervous. Like, how do we top that in 2025? And as I said, there was so many government changes coming down the pipeline. And when you talk about gray areas, like sometimes, and it goes back to getting in your own head and, making barriers that haven't even appeared yet. And I think for my year 2025, I felt that was a gray area year for me. And just navigating the changes and becoming anxious. How do I top the best year? And I'm going to be honest to say that's something that I'm just now getting over. It was honestly, even someone with me, like I wake up every day, I'm reading stuff about positive self-talk, mindset. But to even get through that, I'm proud because I say just a year, but I'm like, some people will sit in that for longer. And I'm now just getting over that gray area, you would say, in life. So I'm interested to read that book. Thank you.
Well, thank you. How do you still time to time experience that self-doubt, imposter syndrome? And if so, how do you talk yourself out of those moments?
Yeah. So for me, there's so many things that go on. I have strategies that I use in that moment. So I'm always meditating. I'm always trying to stay grounded. But in the grand scheme of things, I actually know it's like I have a vision in my mind of where I'm gonna end up. And when you're having those stellar years, you're like, oh yes, everything is going right. And then something comes where it's a regulatory change and that impacts revenue. And you're like, oh, this is going off course. But for me, what I learned, especially as I told you, going through 2025, is that take that time to, one, reevaluate what you're doing. And for me, that was a learning experience to say, even though we had such a fast growth, everyone that met us, they're like, how did you guys do this? It's what you built was incredible. But I also said to myself, there was so much still that we needed to learn as business owners and entrepreneurs, that if we had kept up at that pace, we would never have had the opportunity to grasp what we were missing. So one of the things is, I know in my mind, 20 to 30 years, I'm going to be an amazing entrepreneur, not only about the financial win, but I also want to be able to say that I'm a great people manager. I know how to build systems. I know how to delegate and problem solve within my business. And I felt that the slowdown that we had in our business gave me the opportunity to explore other things, right? So we were able to attend workshop. We were able to say, okay, let's look at our business. What are we not, what could we tighten up in terms of process? What internally can we change? How can we adapt new technology? So it was having the ability to say, okay, yes, this is not going as planned, but seeing what you're learning from that experience and what you can gain from that experience, and also just being able to breathe and having the ability to reevaluate what's going on in your business and in your personal life. Because in the midst of my husband and I growing this business, and then we had the financial resource to have 2 nannies, but my kids, they're still very young, 7 and under. But I was like, oh my gosh, one of my child, she's a bit behind in school, and what's going on with her in that aspect. And even with myself, Mehi, I always knew that I thought my brain worked a bit differently. And it was in 2025 in the slowdown, I was able to fully get diagnosed. I have ADHD, and I know there's other things going on too. And being able to really become self-aware and capture what's going on with you, and it goes to everything. So we were able to reevaluate our business, our personal life, how we show up for our kids, how we show up for ourselves. Are we making sure we take the time for ourselves? So and that was important, because where I want to be, I need to be able to say I have these things under wrap. I know what I'm doing in every aspect of my life, and not just in the business aspect. Yeah.
Thank you very much for sharing. Thank you.
Mhm.
Life teaches us lessons that way, right? Sometimes things, I know it's such cliche thing to say, but things happen for reasons I really believe.
Yes.
When business slows down, we can use that as an opportunity to look something else and work on something else, and vice
Yes.
versa. Even, yeah. So with my book journey to after the third book, full-time job, family, and book, it just sometimes I'm thinking, am I trying to do too much? But
Mhm.
who's there to tell me what is too much, what is not too much? I don't give a crap about what other people do and what other people think, right? So
Mhm.
it is me deciding how much. So yes, I have this ambition, but at what cost?
Mhm.
Sometimes I just pause and think, okay, to make all this happen, I sleep less, I spend
Mhm.
less time and less mental energy, mental resources thinking
Yes.
about my daughter and my husband and the
Mhm.
rest of the people that I really care about. So what is the pros and cons that I'm weighing, and how
Yes.
am I showing up every day? How am I making decisions every day based on that evaluation? Like, it is not an easy thing to do, right? There's no right wrong answer, back to the grays of life.
Yes. Yes, exactly. And sometimes, honestly, it's just going inwards. I was just watching, I forgot his name, but I saw a clip of this gentleman. He's a billionaire. He was able to scale to $40 billion. And he says what he does, his work week, it's a bit different for men, but that's a whole different story. But his work week, he'll work. he'll do the 12, 14-hour work days, and on the weekend he has with his family, where he focuses on his family, and then he carves out the 2 to 3 hours to say, okay, where's my focus? What am I missing out on? Write down, he writes down everything, whether it's business related or family related, that he may have missed in one week, but he'll catch it up in the other. And I think that is so important. I think sometimes you feel like it's a bit chaotic, or you've lost touch with certain things, or you've lost control because you don't realize what is going on. You're not on top of it. So I think if we take that moment, and I've learned that too, even in my business, where I'll be like, okay, who is monitoring this KPI? It's dropping. Who's following up? And then I find out, oh, my TL, my team lead, was actually on top of it. Sometimes in your mind, if you don't know who's doing what, and it's the same thing with your personal life, if you don't stay on top of and communicate with the school, even if things are not going well, but you know that I have my eyes on it, I know what's going on, it kind of helps calm your nervous system. You're not as, anxious about everything, and it doesn't feel as chaotic. So that's something I learned just recently. Like, it's just, keeping communication, keeping in touch. I would say even with your husband as well, if you guys have that once a week meeting on a weekend to say, how are things going? How you feel like it's going on? What's your perspective? But it is, like, to be honest, Mihi, I believe that if you have the call in to do all these things, you want to be an author, you're a stellar businesswoman, you want the career, that's because it's meant for you. And I don't think, if you have that inspiration within you, I don't think the universe would have given it to you if you didn't have the power to balance it and to carry it all. So, and I say that to everyone. If you have the calling within you, that's the universe saying, you're made for this. It was for you, and you can do it. And there is a way to balance it all. And more importantly is, I'm big on podcasts. I was watching a podcast. Her name is Candace. She's actually on she was on the Real Housewife of Potomac. And she spoke about growing up in a household where they call her a Nepo baby because her family's very successful. But she talked about, the biggest lesson she's learned is seeing her mom really pushing through and trying to reach other heights that no one else in her family has reached. So she had the story about her mom having to drive an hour to school to finish her master's because there was no virtual option in those days. And just seeing her mom do that, she's like, I cannot take that for granted. I've seen her push. So I'm sure your daughter's saying the same thing. She sees how much you're doing, and we don't realize that they're watching us, but they are. So that is in itself is such a huge lesson to teach our kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is amazing and scary all at the same time how much our kids see things, hear things, and learn things, right?
Yes. And you don't know what they're picking up on.
Yeah, yeah.
I have my daughter, she's 7. One day she was just like, I started, posting stuff on social media, and I was doing B-rolls. That's what they're called. Like, you're just, just putzing around doing nothing. And then she started mimicking me. She took my phone and she pressed record, and she's like on my laptop typing, and she's like, oh, I'm preparing for my social media. I'm just, and she took a cup of empty cup, and she's drinking her coffee. And so it is so cute. Like, they really do see what you're doing, and they do learn from that, and they mimic it in most,
Yes.
yeah.
Both bad and good, right?
Yes. For me, I hope they only absorb the good and the
Yeah, we hope, yes.
yes, yeah.
Speaking of kids, you have 3 kids, right, Rhea?
Yes, I do.
How has that journey been, standing up your business while raising 3 kids?
To be honest, it is give and take. As I said, the business made it so that my husband and I were so busy for the last few years, and I think it's very important years in their lives. But also it afforded us the ability to have extra help at home and to be able to give them a better education. So we did enroll them in private school. So to be honest, it is give and take because I do have the mom guilt sometimes to say, oh my gosh, I'm doing so much and should I be the one doing this and cooking for them? And um but at the same time, I know that yes, while those are important things, I'm doing my husband and I, not just me, we're doing something that's so much better. Like some people say they don't believe in leaving things for their kids. I know that everything that I'm building for, I'm not handing it to them because they would have to learn lessons and show me that they deserve it, but it is for them. And I do believe in making sure that they have opportunities and access that I didn't my parents couldn't afford when I was growing up. So that is like the silver lining. Yes, we're busy, but I think we are not I think I know we are setting them up for such an amazing life and to have such amazing experiences. So it is give and take, but overall it's a lot to juggle, but I think we're doing a great job. And one of the key things is we engage them. We tell them what's going on. Like, okay, if we're traveling for work, we're traveling for this is why we can't take you this time. I strongly believe in traveling with my kids, so if I can take them for any business trips, I do, and I explain to them what we're doing, and if I can't, I don't, but I do keep them engaged into what's going on. If it's a busy week, I'll let them know it's a really busy week, I'm gonna be at the office. Again, 2025 was a better year because I felt like I had better work-life balance, but yeah, I love who I see my kids turning into, to be honest. I do, and yeah, I'm excited to see what else is to come for them.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mom guilt, I think, well, not I think, I know I suffer that every single day.
Mm-hmm.
There's always at least one moment that I go, wait a minute, did I make a right decision there? Am I
Mm-hmm.
doing too much, or am I being too much?
Mm-hmm.
And again, I try to, one of the reasons why I wrote that book is because I struggle with this gray every day. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's no right or wrong answer, Mihe. I'm just talking to myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe what you just did, the decision that you made was wrong one, but you know,
Yeah,
not like
you
nobody.
learn from it because another decision is coming, so you'll learn from it.
Yes,
Yeah.
one thing leads to the another and another and
Mm-hmm.
another. Based,
Mm-hmm.
it is not that one decision or one thing that happened defines everything.
No,
So,
no.
yeah.
How old is your daughter right now?
Oh, she's 7. Yeah.
Oh, yes, yeah. And does she get curious about everything that you're doing?
Everything. Yeah.
That's good.
And
That
I
is good.
hear you on um, our kids watching us, and especially for girls, a good role model, and even for boys, right? We
Mhm.
need boys growing up
Yes.
seeing
Yes.
women like ourselves and understand and envision who they want to be with later, if that's the route they choose, right?
Yes.
What's
Yes.
normal
Mm-hmm.
world.
Yes. Yes.
She mimics me too, like all the time, and
Ah,
yeah,
that's amazing. That's amazing.
yeah, and I believe she's proud of me. She's proud of her mom, and
Yes.
proud to be her mom's daughter.
Daughter. And that's honestly above everything, all the successes, the accolades. That is one of the most important things, right? And that's what counts. And I always say, no matter how hard we work, it's nothing if, our kids are not doing okay and grew up to be, great humans themselves, right? And so the fact that she's gravitating to what you're doing is a signal to you that, you know what, her mind is cueing into like the positive things that's going on in her life, right? And looking to you, and yeah, that's beautiful. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, and same goes to you.
Mm-hmm.
Vision, you mentioned a few minutes ago, you have clear vision of where you want to be, who you want to be in a few decades.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How did you get to that? Because a lot of times, the what is that saying? Knowing ourselves is very difficult thing. We think knowing who we are ourselves should be an
Yeah.
easy thing because we're us. But
Yes.
knowing ourselves is not an easy task. It's
No.
actually around envisioning who we would be later in our lives. Many people don't even think about that, right? Just thinking about retirement or whatever the case be. So how did
Mhm.
you get to that vision of yourself?
I just, from a young age, I knew, as I said, I'm always into different things. If it's funny because all the nurses that worked alongside me at bedside, and so many people, they were saying like this isn't surprise. This is exactly on track for who you are, for you to have your business and to become successful in that realm. And I was like, wow. And they would say like you would always be researching, okay, in nursing, how do you get to, how do you expand a career? What can you do outside of bedside nursing? And they're like, you were the one that's always on the computer researching. So I felt like for me, I always had that in me to say I couldn't have a day off and just, lie around. I was always like, I need to do something, whether I'm, last minute traveling, whether I'm, watching a podcast or going to a conference. I was always involved in something and trying to expand my mind and learn. I was also, while I was doing nursing, into real estate and how do we get into that market and break into that market. So when it comes to vision, I almost always had it innately in me that I always I wanted to learn. I wanted to expand my field of thought, what I knew, and push through, right? They would say climbing to the next level, whatever term you want to use for it. And so it was about, I want to say around the time when we started 911, I kind of was able to write down my identity to say, this is what I'm working for. I have a set target number, a set skill set. But with that, you have to break down. If I say in 30 years, I want to be this amazing business woman and I'm running a company worth this much, step by step, year by year, I have to identify what's one skill that I'm gaining to get me to that target. But it has to resonate with you. Like when I think about my vision for myself in 30 years, I feel at peace. I feel my heart is well, like, so it is also instinctively knowing that this is the path for you and you're on the right path. And even when it gets hard, it's more of okay, I'm gonna figure it out. It's not a downhearted hardness where you want to give up or, so and in the hard times, I always stick on to, this is what I want for myself, this is what I want for my family, and pushing through that. So it is writing it down. So to be honest, I also watch many podcasts I'm big on energy, on manifesting, on self-development, on building your mindset. So I've pulled from the many different books I've read. Think and Grow Rich is a big one, and just saying like, what you think, that's what you'll become. So if you hold on to the vision, if you have yourself, little things, it will always, you'll build yourself. They always say how to eat an elephant. It's like bite by bite, right? So if you have this big vision for yourself and you don't know the how, it's just taking it one day at a time, and knowing that anything in life, everything is a lesson, right? And helping you get to the vision that you have of yourself. So hopefully that answered.
You are such an inspiration, Rhea.
Hmm.
I have
Hmm.
goosebumps and like pumped up, like let's
Yes.
go.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Yeah. And one thing there, I think many of us, including me, sometimes not knowing the how, the exact steps to get to something can
Hmm.
bring us down, right? Well, I don't know how, so I'm not gonna start. Like
No.
that,
Yeah.
right? Nobody knows until
Nobody
they
knows.
try and fail multiple
Yes.
times. So yeah, I talk to myself. It's okay to not knowing. You know something, and you can do something. Start with
Hmm.
that and figure out from there.
Exactly. And just take it one day at a time, small bits at a time, and you will get there. And you're right, nobody knows how. I've actually realized that even in business, I'm like, okay, when we got to a certain level, I'm like, let me find a mentor. But no one could tell you, no one walks the same path as you, right?
And
And what may work.
talking about life, right? Human life.
Mhm, mhm.
Nobody's the same. Nobody's life is the same.
Exactly. And what may work for one person may not work for another. So that goes back to why I'm huge on mindset, because I think fundamentally if we teach each other to have just great mindset and be resilient, then whatever it is that you're building towards, you'll get there. So I may not tell you the exact how, like do this, do that, but I can tell you, you know what, when obstacles come, just reevaluate. Don't give up. Keep going. If left didn't work for you, try going right, but don't give up on what your goals are. That's the bigger thing for me. It's just mindset and encouraging each other. Don't give up. Like, you are worth it. Your dreams are worth it. Your family's watching. They're there supporting. So keep going.
What's in the books for 2026 for you?
2026 is the year that my husband and I are taking. We're calling it the simple year, where we are just making sure, like within our business, business wise, that we again continue on the journey to make sure we have the right infrastructure, the right people in place, and making sure that we're truly bringing in the fundamentals of business for us, because we grew so fast. We skipped certain stages, and now we have the opportunity to go back and to implement things and make sure the fundamental and the foundation is there in our business, to continue on for generations, right? That's on the business side. On the personal side, I'm continuing to grow and to push myself. And as I said, like, even, I don't know how to explain it, I have this energy of just feeling light. 2025 was a heavier year, a year about worrying, and this year is just feeling light and knowing that I already know everything's going to work out, and just embracing each experience and just learning from that, right? And for my kids as well, being there for them, supporting them. We started them in a new school recently, and just making sure that we're just a bit more engaged now that we have the time to do that, and just being grateful that we are where we are in we've landed where we are in life, and embracing that and just being thankful and living in this moment is what is in store for 2026. Yeah.
Rhea, so grateful that I got to meet you and have this conversation with you. It
Yeah.
is this podcast, if I summarize with just one word, like energized. It yeah, my cup is way fuller after these conversations. I am truly grateful.
Thank you for saying that, because that's one of my goals for this year. I want to motivate people and let them know, like, you can do it. That's all it is. I want to just tell people, whatever you have in your heart that you want to accomplish, it's possible for you. So that really touched my heart as well. Thank you for saying that.
I'm sure you have been doing that all along, and I'm sure you'll be doing a lot more of that for so many more people throughout your
Yes.
life, no doubt.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed this podcast as well.
Thank you very much. Hopefully, we get to see each other in person at some point. Rhea, I would
Yes.
love to meet you in person. And
Thank you. Me too. We'll make it happen.
yes, right? Yeah.
Yes.
We
Yes.
want to make it happen. We're going to make it happen.
Yes. Yes.
That's it for today. Thank you for tuning in. Please remember, you have more agency than you often realize. Choose your stories. I'll see you next time.